Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's Mark from Powersonic and Apprentice 121. Today we're on a full rewire of a property out at the seaside again. So this one's over in Sandsend, which is just past Whitby. It's a full refurb. There's going to be walls coming down. We're going to have solar PV and battery storage going in, EV charge points. We're right at the early stages of this, so the guys are just starting on the top floor. I'll take you up and show you what we're up to there. Builders are starting at the top and working their way down. So we've got to get our first fix in ready for them. And I'll run you around the whole installation first, and then we'll go and see what the guys have been doing upstairs. So catch up with you in just a sec. Okay, so you can see the sea over there. We'll have a little wander down and have a walk on the beachfront, I'm sure, at some stage, but we'll get straight to it first and run inside. So you can see at the minute there is an outside light above here, but obviously this is all getting changed. Just round the other side this way, you can see this stairway, that's all getting knocked down, and there's going to be an extension put on here as well. So the property is having some massive upgrade work, and we're excited to play our little role in helping transform it. As we come through the main entrance porch, this brings us into what will be 2 bedrooms. So there's a wall going up across this room. This wall here is coming down, and there's lots of changes going on down here. So we can't really do anything with our wiring on this floor until that stage, because otherwise you're just going to have cables in the way. See over here we've got our existing intake. It's not horrific. There is niggle on board in there with our CBOs. We've got a nice 100 amp service head, and as you can see there is a TNCS arrangement on it. So we've got a reasonable spot to work from. That's staying where it is as well. Just the other side of that wall is where we're going to mount the batteries, and obviously the inverter as well needs a home. So this is all going to be cupboarded off. As we come through this way, at the minute it's a kitchen. So as you can see, Nathan's busy eating by the looks of it. No, drinking. So this is coming out and going to be changed into a bathroom. So at the minute, again, we can't do anything here. We've got a little storage cupboard over this side which houses the boiler. Again, that's getting knocked out, so these walls are all coming down. Another little cupboard at this side, and again, that's getting knocked out, and the understairs. And then we go up, and this is a 2-storey property. So we've got a nice little landing here with a view out to the sea again. As we swing around and move up. Okay, so we've got a bathroom this side, which is just a normal 3-piece suite, and this is going to get swapped to a kitchen, because just at this side around here there is a single toilet. So that wall between those 2 rooms is coming out. This is going to be a kitchen on the first floor, and this wall here between the what is downstairs toilet and this massive front room is coming down. So this is all going to be open plan, and they want to make use of this view out to the sea. You can see Matthew admiring rather than doing any work. Got a nice view of the sea here, so they want to open all this up. Lots of nice natural light coming through, and then these walls here are going to be knocked out, so this will be gone. This wall over here will be gone, and then we are in a position to start wiring this floor out. And again, there's not a lot of point doing anything too detailed at the minute, because we've got walls up that are coming down, loads of building work being done. So this is a good one to share because we've got open ceiling spaces, so this is all going to get filled in. You can see here at the minute we've got the exposed beams. The bigger, thicker beams are going to be left with a little bit protruding on the underside of the ceiling, but the rest's all getting overboarded and covered up. So we've got a nice wiring zone to use. See, it's just floorboards above, so there's no void at all at present. So a lot of the existing cable's been clipped around, as you can see, and then just dropped down. Some of it's surface mount, some of it's hidden away, but we're making use of the opportunity to get some new routes in. So you'll see here we've got our feeds. These are waiting to drop down to that consumer unit location I showed you on the ground floor. They pop up and then we're wiring out. So spin you around, you see we've got our holes through. Again, making sure we stick to the spans. So these are joists sat on joists, so you've got to make sure you drill your holes. So we need to stick to our 25 and 40% ratio on all of these joists, even the thicker and the thinner ones, so make sure you factor that in. We've used the cable stapler to attach these up here. You see we've got those in, so we've got what we will term as metallic support on them, but there is going to be plasterboard covering these over as well. And we're using LSF, so these are the socket circuits. We've run these around underneath, so you clipped them to the joists where we can, and then they pop up through the floor, and there is some lath and plasterboard walls up there, as you can see just through that hole, and they run straight up there into the socket fronts, or what will be socket fronts. And then you can see here we've got these ones. We're waiting to fix these at the minute because we're going to bring some lighting cables across now, so we can staple all of those together. So these are just hanging loose at present. Where we've come through into the hall, because upstairs on the top floor is mainly a couple of bedrooms and a bathroom, there's not a great deal at this end because the bathroom's at this side. I'll take you up and show you. But you can see we've got our cables clipped again on the joists and secured, trying to stick to the 25 and 40% again, and just popping up into the sockets. We come onto the top floor. See again, we get another nice view out to sea. It's a lovely place. And then up here, we've kind of knocked our boxes out. So again, where the lath and plaster walls, it's really straightforward. You cut a hole. We've just got the floorboards to drill through, and we're straight into these voids to pop our cables up. And you can see in this bedroom here, so this is staying as it is. It's just going to be a bedroom. We've popped the floorboard up just so we could get our bearings in relation to where the wall was. And we've got these sockets in now, so these are straight in. This is going to have a metal box in. Obviously we've got a little stud to work with. So you've got our chop outs done, cables ready to dress away. Nathan's itching to get on with that, so he's going to come and sort it. And again, lovely, lovely view. Not that that matters to anything electrically, but it is nice. This wall's coming out, so this is going to open up into what was a little cupboard. I don't think you could call this a bedroom. And there's a couple of sockets going in here as well. The lights, there's no access to the roof void here. There's loads of different pitches on the roof. So if I spin you up a little bit, you can see it kind of changes direction. It all dives down in places. There's valleys all over. So we've popped a 100mm circular hole in the corner above where the light switches are going to be. You can see that. And then we've just used the cable tongue to get over to the light fitting in the middle. And then we're going to wire feeds in to all these sockets from underneath. So we're going to come up into all of the, light switches. So you can see we've got one here on the landing, and above it we've got the 100mm hole, and we can wire out to our pendant. In the bathroom, again, we've got so this is going to be a bathroom, it's currently a bedroom. Okay, so in the bathroom we've got a shaver point which we need to get cut in. Again, this room is getting knocked apart a bit, so there's a cupboard around if I spin you this other side. So as I say, it's a bedroom at the minute, but that cupboard goes out onto the landing, so that's all getting knocked out. We've got our 100mm hole over there, and we're ready to just rod across to the light fittings. These are going to have 5 spotlights in here, so it's going to be a bathroom, as I say. Obviously there won't be a light switch in here, that's going. And then there's this other bedroom just over the other side. Similar thing with the sockets and the lights. I'll come over to this corner and give you the best view I can. So you can see the guys have already rodded over from the hole above the light switch to the central pendant. There's no loft access whatsoever. And we've got a light switch there ready to drop down into and bring our cables up from the bottom into as well. So we're feeding the light switches out to the light fittings. There's just the 3 socket fronts in here. If I spin you down, you can see we've got those chopped in. Nathan's already boxed one of those up ready. Got another one to go over here. And then this one in this corner there. So fairly straightforward. There is a PIV unit already in place on this one, but it's an older style. We can't get access over to this side of the loft. So I think we're going to reposition that, and we'll move it more into the landing over this way, because we've got a little bit of access. As I'll show you if we go in this little cupboard. There's a tiny, tiny, tiny little access point where we can get into and just get through there to pop a PIV in, because the customer would like one. It is quite a damp property in the winter. So we're going to get on with that now. The guys are going to get these cables from A to B, get them all boxed up, get them secured. We've got the lighting circuit to pull in and feed all these light switches. I'll show you a bit of that going on so you can see how we draw off the cable drum, and I'll catch up with you in a second. So I've left the guys to it up there for the time being. I've dropped down to the sea just to have a little walk along. It's half-term holidays, so the beach is pretty full with people. And yeah, it's going well. We've got most of that top floor all wired out now, ready. We need to be first fixed by the end of today so the builder can get started up there. That's the priority. They're just finishing off the loop out to the light switches on that top floor, and I'll take you back to see them in action in a minute. Just wanted to say really that for those of you who are still on your training journeys, I know quite a few of you follow my content, don't lose heart in what it means to qualify as an electrician. There's been a few people sharing stuff in the social media space, kind of devaluing a little bit what it means to qualify as an electrician, or muddying the waters a bit on what that is exactly. Kind of throw in the gold card and ECS grading scheme into things, and the CPSs and how they grade people as well, when really it's quite clear cut what a qualified electrician is now and always has been, and it's built on that time served training, be that through an apprenticeship or going to college full time and doing a portfolio. There's no secret sauce to that. It's what it's always been for decades. So yeah, just keep going in your training. You don't have to get a gold card at the end of it. I mean, I've got one. I think they're a great thing to to have, and it does help you get on site to do work. It's a kind of industry recognised as what a qualified electrician is. As long as you've got the qualifications to attain that, so you've done your level 3 training, you've done your site-based experience and your logbook. If you check the EAS document to what a qualified electrician is, if you check on the government website as to the courses you need to do to qualify as an electrician, and if you check with IFE and Ofqual, all these things map together. It's basically level 3 training through the course of your vocation or through studying full time at college on something like a 2365, 8202, and then doing a logbook site-based experience. So yeah, keep going in that. It does mean something. You can actually qualify as an electrician. It's not somebody who's done a plumbing domestic Part P course or a kitchen fitter who's retrained and done a domestic Part P course. They're not electricians. They were kind of always defined scope, and that through the course of Part P really did muddy those waters, and I think some people now are trying to apportion that onto what electricians training actually is and muddy all of that and devalue it for those of you who are trying to qualify. Be proud, keep going, take no notice, it's just noise. There's stuff coming from TESP and NET hopefully very soon alongside, helping link some of you guys and girls up with employment as well, hoping to get some pilots with them running soon. They are proper switched on to helping improve things and change the training landscape, because there are still some rogues out there who will sell you training in a very short period of time. That's even your 2365s. Going off and doing those in 13-week blocks. There's some shady trainers who will sell you that full time going into college. It's not the right way to do it. They're packaging it up to make money. Let's call a spade a spade. That's what it is on that one. But let's jump back to site. I don't want to go on ranting about this. It's just frustrated me through the course of National Apprenticeship last week, seeing one or two individuals popping up on social media really digging into what it means to qualify as an electrician and knocking those who've walked the walk and done it when they ain't come close themselves. Take no notice. I should listen to my own advice. Let's go see what Matty and Nathan are doing. You can see Nathan's been busy pulling these wires in. Matthew's just trying to take the glory by portioning the last little bit of tape. But we've got our feed through, is that for the PIV? We've got a PIV up there, we've got the light fit in here, and then over here we've got the smoke alarm. Like I say, this cupboard's getting knocked out, so take no notice of that. Got down to the light switches. We still need to drop our feeds up to the switches from down below. We'll do that in a minute. So you see we've just gone down these walls, little hole at the top, rod straight down, and we're in. Pendants over in the middle, same here. The light switch just into this void up there. You see there is a bit of access for us. That's where we're going to try and make an opening to get through and do the PIV wiring. We've got our pendant wiring up there. That's through in that room. And then the bathroom, which is over this way. This one was a bit trickier, but still not that bad. So there's a nice void up there, but no access to it. So we've got no loft hatch. We've run the LSF, again, coming up. The light switch is going to be outside the wall, obviously not inside with the bathroom. We've got the cable coming up across this first spotlight, come across to this one, and then we've also taken a feed across down to this shaver point, come off from the shaver point and followed around the spotlight map over to this last spotlight there, because there's going to be a bath shower area in there, and we're going to have a fan over that space next to the spotlights a bit further along. That's still to be determined by the customer once they've made their mind up, but we've got the live neutral and earth and a switch line over there, ready to wire that in and coming back to a fan isolator outside the room. So we're all good on that front. We'll jump downstairs now, we'll bring the cables up to these light switches and I'll show you that being done in just a minute. Right, so I just wanted to cover off some of the books I mentioned in the course of this video. So there's the Green IET Guide to the Building Regs. There's a page in there to do with the joist holes that you can make in it and the spacing of them. I think this is actually an older version, so there might be a newer version now available. But basically saying what I've covered in the video, you need to stick to 0.25 to 0.4 times the span for your holes, and that's from either end. Basically, you're avoiding the middle of any joists and the outer edges, which makes sense when you think about it. Any extra hole that you add into an additional one, you need to move 3 spacings apart of the largest size diameter of holes in that arrangement. And yeah, that's all in there. The Napier On-Site Solutions, which is this one, see it's a really weighty book, there's loads in here. It's a lot like the IET On-Site Guide, but this one has more in it and loads more illustrations, which are helpful if you're on a training journey. You can see in here it's got information about joists and drilling holes in them, and there's 2 different segments to this within this book. So it's talking about drilling only, just a couple of subtle differences if you're going to have notches combined with drill holes, which is going to be more of an issue if you're working on an older install that might already have notches in the joists. But let's say we've got a fresh joist, it's drilling only. So your joist must be at least 150mm deep, holes no greater than 30mm, holes to be drilled along as the centre line of the joists, and your sensitive holes to be 3 times the diameter of the largest holes apart, and a maximum of 8 30mm holes within each zone, and holes on the centre line between 0.1 and 0.4 times the span. So if you're drilling only, the Napier On-Site Solutions saying you can go from 0.1 to 0.4 times the clear span on the joist. No notching is permitted when you're going down that route. Now it's saying the next little step is notching and drilling. So a maximum depth of notch should be 0.15 times the joist's depth. Notches on top in a zone between 0.1 and 0.2 with the clear span. A maximum depth of notch should be 0.125 times the joist's depth. The notches on top of a zone between 0.07 and 0.25. We're not going to concern ourselves with doing notches because we're not really going to do them. This is just if you've already got a notch in place on a joist. And this is where it combines with what we do because we're drilling holes through the joists. Diameters of holes should not exceed 0.25 the joist depth. It's not giving a minimum size of joist for drilling the holes on these ones. Holes on the centre line in the zone between 0.25 and 0.4 times the clear span. So it's narrowing that zone if there's notches in it. You're coming a little bit off the edge again towards the middle of the room, if you like, from either end of the joist. Similar to what the guidance in the building regs book there I've just shown you says. And yeah, it's saying here that notches and drillings in the same joist should be at least 200mm apart horizontally. So if you're seeing a notch within a joist already, keep your distance from it and factor in that there are some different rules at play. And again, this book has it all in there. It's fantastic. Loads of other extra information as well. I hope you've enjoyed that video and having a look around that job. We're going to go back to it and revisit it as time moves along. I want to show us build onto that. So we're going to do loads of second fixing. We've got the EV, some solar and batteries coming. That's way down the line yet, but it's coming in the end. It'll be a nice one to see grow on the channel. I have got a new toy, which is this. And it's more for the podcast than it is for doing YouTube videos, to be honest. But it's exciting, and I'm going to play with it a little bit by just doing stuff like this. So hopefully you can hear that. A bit of laughter. We'll do some cheering, maybe. A little giggle. Let's have an applause. Why not? I think that's really cool. So I've made my day getting this, just messing about with it. I can give myself a funny voice as well. So let's go for a funny voice. Where is it? I think that's this one. So
should be sounding a little bit different now, hopefully. Weird, isn't it?
There we go. So a new toy, and also within the booths down here, you may notice I am sat in some cinema chairs. We've got some set up around the place here. The idea is we're going to be recording some content for the podcast in and around these booths while we're doing bits and pieces with people coming to see us. And I've popped some lighting up above me, and you may notice it changing colour, and it can do all these funky things, so we can get a different background, a different mood and setting. I think that's just a bit of a gimmicky touch, to be fair, because we're just generally going to have it on a nice bright light to make sure everyone can see us. But yeah, it's exciting down here at Apprentice 121. I think we're finally there now with the booths all set up. We're ready to go and start doing some serious training with people and hopefully offering some value to the people who are watching through the means of social media as well. We're still to get our solar roof finished, but that is going to be sorted soon. and we're going to get some people to come down here and offer some expertise in certain areas as well to do with BMS and controls, and other bits of industry that you might not see all the time on social media and out in your work role. So there's all those exciting things to come too. If you've got any questions around this video, please do drop them in below. If you haven't already, go and check the Apprentice 1-to-1 podcast. It's another YouTube channel that I've got going just for the podcast content. I did used to mix it in with all of this, but it got a bit confusing because people were coming to see the podcast and that's all they really wanted to watch. Other people were just wanting to see the electrical work and videos. And I was getting complaints from both parties about certain bits of content that were being dropped into their feeds. So it seemed a nice way to just separate it off. Whether that was the right thing to do or not, I don't know. It's what I've done anyway. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all again soon.